Periscope. There we go. YouTube is kicking in too. There's YouTube. Hello, YouTubes.
Periscope.
Every week that happens with the Facebook stuff happening. It auto plays. Oh, Facebook infamous for auto playing.
They actually implemented that back onto Instagram as well. As you're scrolling down,
You have to like change the setting again.
or just have mute.
This time it's not even showing the stream. It's just like a blank screen. Can you check Facebook?
I'm checking.
Since I'm already in Facebook, I can't. If I refresh it, it'll kill the session. Right, but is there... Okay, yeah, the image is pulling through. All right, well, we had quite a bit of issues. Hey, everybody in YouTube land, welcome.
Not just YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and
Twitch. Twitch.
I
Hey, guys, welcome to the
there was
YouTube
another.
chat room because... What? Kirby's throwing me off here with his curveballs. You watched Frozen again?
Oh my god, we're about to watch it every single day as Christmas nears.
What are we watching every day now? Scooby-Doo?
I know, because it's Halloween.
Yeah. This kid loves Scooby-Doo. His kid. My nephew. That's funny.
We were going to watch that Frozen ride at Epcot, but because the stupid hurricane came through, we had to redo all of our fast passes, and obviously that
Stupid
wasn't
hurricane.
available again, which is supposedly the best ride.
But now we have another hurricane.
It's
Hopefully.
Not, it doesn't look like it's going to hit us. Looks
that-
like it's coming...
Is that what the watch says?
It looks like it's coming...
Let me check my
to
watch.
New York.
It says we're fine. Pedro's mic is off, as always.
My mic is not off.
It says it is.
Oh, actually it is. Sorry, I was going to the bathroom, so I had to mute
We
it.
hocked a loogie. I was gonna hawk another one. Hey guys, welcome everybody in the chat room. We are about to go live soon. Well, we're already live. We're about to start the show soon. A lot of issues this morning with Discord chat. It doesn't seem to work well with Wirecast this week. It happens every week, but normally it kicks in at about 5 minutes of standby. It wouldn't load. I waited an hour for it to load. It never did, so I swapped out the live chat room for YouTube because it works, you know.
Usually YouTube is a lot more lively, though, for the chatting.
Yeah. But
Kirby
hey,
says-
we still recommend, checking out Discord as it's a great place to get project help when we're not streaming live.
Yes, it's where we're going to feature a lot of the show and tell stuff that people are working on. So
Pedro-
definitely post up there.
Kirby's offended here with your shirt.
So this is old school. This is from 2012.
Yeah, right.
This is before
they went closed source. And
Yeah.
laid off a bunch of staff. Yeah, we have a nice video. Do you want to show the video as like an intro? Guess what's going on this weekend, folks? You ready for this? Everybody get ready. You ready for the video?
1 minute, yeah. Let's go. No.
Let's just do the video.
Let's start the show.
Oh, you don't want to do the video?
No, we'll do the video during the show.
Oh. All right. Be right back. Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. I'm Noe Pedro Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is this guy.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is a show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Welcome, everybody, to episode, 100-something. We're live streaming on all the channels. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and start off with stuff. This week's coupon code is Tubman. T-U-B-M-A-N. Tubman. And we'll find out why it's Tubman after these.
Hopefully by Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about the stuff. All right, we still have some free deals going on. If you go to adafruit.com/free, you can find out all the free deals that are going on. Right now, we have the same ongoing deal with UPS. If you spend $200 more, you get free shipping in the U.S. continental. That means if you order a printer, chances are it's going to be free shipping. Pretty good. Same day delivery for folks in the New York City area, Manhattan. Check out Adafruit.com for zip codes and stuff. We have Adafruit Daily. That's our daily newsletters. Those are still happening. We have the new newsletter that's about products. It's once a week, so every time we come out with new products and stuff and you miss them, this will let you know all the stuff that came out. Hey, Discord, what happened? Well, unfortunately, the streaming overlay isn't working too well with Wirecast. It's not a problem with Discord, maybe it is, but it's a problem with Wirecast. So that's why we are streaming the live chat from YouTube. So hello everybody in YouTube. Hopefully we can get that resorted by next week. All right. That's all the introduction stuff. We're going to talk about this week's project, which is a little bit different. A little bit... I don't know the right word for it. Let's just go to the thing here. What is this?
This week's project is a PT idea of making 3D printed molds.
Yeah, so 3D printing
silicone
stamps.
rubber mold putty.
Ooh, 3D printing stamps. A lot of different use cases with stamps. Creating stamps is a bit of an art form in itself. Creating the molds for it. I actually follow someone on Instagram that does it by hand carving.
Oh,
Super
wow.
excellent. Did you follow this guy?
No.
Dude, his work is phenomenal.
Wow.
So this is interesting. So Pedro approaches, well, how do I make a historical figure into a stamp with 3D printing?
There's actually a whole different story on
what's the whole
what the
story?
original.
Tell me
we
the whole
can't
story.
release it though because there are some things that need to be checked out by our lawyers. So hopefully we'll be able to release it by Thursday or Friday. Simple project though. The premise is though wrapped around the main tutorial is how to make the rubber stamps with 3D printed molds.
Okay. And some software, some software goodness.
Yeah. So usually with a simple design like like letters or like shapes or anything
2D
like that,
art,
you're able to, the PLA or ABS is able to adhere ink to it for transferring onto whatever you'll be stamping. But when you deal with more complicated, high quality images, it doesn't adhere very well. And because you have to print these vertically to get the higher resolution of the X and Y,
Can we get some visuals?
we have to print these vertically.
All right, let's get some visuals.
Yeah, so this is what we end up doing. So what we're doing here is using the Lithophane technique to actually extrude out the shapes so that we can actually add the mold putty to create these sort of silicone-based rubber stamps. I'll give you that high quality. Now, I did try this with NinjaFlex and PLA, but because we have to print them vertically, the ink doesn't transfer as well, and you get all the little lines that show up. Printing it flat would not really work as well because the resolution on the Z isn't as high as the X and Y when you're printing vertically. So that's why we had to resort to making the molds out of these common molding putty that you would find like at an arts and crafts store. It's called Amazing Molding Putty, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's
you
a
can pick
two-part
stuff up from anywhere, Amazon or Walmart or any of those big box retailers.
So it's a two-part mix. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's super easy to make.
Yeah, let's take a look at the guide here.
Mm-hmm.
So the things you'll need is the two-part mold amazing putty.
Yeah, if you've done any arts and crafts, this box should look familiar to you.
Yeah. Is it food safe stuff too?
This is food safe, yeah.
So you can also make chocolates and stuff with it. So a lot of different uses for this mold putty. Check it out. Play-Doh.
Yes.
Flush cutters.
So yeah, the tools you
Scale
need
for weighing because it's helpful to weigh your material so you get the right amount of material. You don't want to make too much of it. And just some other things that we have in the shop, of course, 3D printers, filament, and some ancillary tools and things that kind of make things easier.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next page. Talk about the design of the molds.
Yeah, so here is the main
sauce.
portion about this. So we're just using a website called 3DP Rock/Lithophane to create to convert our grayscale image into the bumps that are what will create our image.
So let's make one right now. Here's the website. This is what it looks like when you go to it. It's flat. You get a couple different options at the bottom, but let's stay with flat because that's what we want to do. We're going to need an image. So how about Lady Ada? You can go to adafruit.com/about-us and find some photos of Lady Ada. So let's go ahead and try to make a Lady Ada stamp. So we're going to go into images, right? And then this is where you select your file or drop your file. You want to use probably a JPEG. That's the most common thing. You probably use GIFs and stuff. I went already ahead and made a scaled down version of Lamar's head here. So does it have to be a certain size, Pedro?
Yeah, I would scale it down to the size that you tend to want your stamp to be, just because scaling it down after the fact might destroy some of the resolution or the quality of the STL.
So this is 35 by 45 millimeters.
And that's a very specific size because of the thing that this was all supposed to be based around.
Yeah, we can't say what
you might have seen things like on behind the scenes. You could figure out what we were actually stamping.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and upload Lamar. It automatically embeds it, and right away we get a Lamar 3D lithophane.
So this would work excellent if you actually want to use it as a lithophane.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know what that is, it's creating an image from all of the bumps and curves that are printed on.
There's a bunch of great examples here on Thingiverse. Probably one of my favorite ones is from Josh. It goes by Design May Teach. He made a hidden figures of the Friendship 7 space capsule. He put all of the lovely hidden figures on this thing. So anyway, that's what a lithophane is. There's a lot of great examples of it. Curved ones, just kind of lampshade ones. Different types. You can search for it on Thingiverse and find a bunch of them. So making this into a stamp isn't something we've seen yet, really. So let's go back to this part. So as it is, you do want to update some of the settings here. So if we go to settings and we go to image settings, there are some dials and knobs, or really sliders, that we can mess with to get a better negative for our molds. Is that right? So I'm going to use Pedro's guide because I don't know what the numbers are. First thing I want to do is change the thickness to 6 millimeters. I'm in the wrong settings. We're going to go to model settings. We want to change the thickness. It's default by 3. I'm going to change it to 6. Okie dokie. Next thing I want to do is change the thinnest layer to 1 millimeter. So let's look for thinnest layer. Let's bump that up to 1. And I think that's it. Everything else can be... Oh yeah, we want to change the vectors per pixel to 2. It's at 4 right now, so let's change it to 2. Cool. So that's it for the model settings. Now the image settings, this is where you're kind of giving it more contrast or something. So I'm going to go to that, image settings, and then we want to change this. What is this over here?
From positive to negative, just so that it's inverted.
All right, so it's negative and the mirroring is off.
Yeah, so when you're stamping, you got to remember that the
stamp will be back.
The orientation will be reversed when you actually apply it to whatever you're stamping. Right. Same thing applies to like T-shirt transfer.
This would matter
design.
a lot if you're doing typography.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're doing a photo, it probably doesn't matter too much.
If you want it to face the same way,
okay,
the other thing is facing.
Exactly. All right, so with that, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of different settings you can play with, but those are the ones that we found that you most want to play with, especially the thickness and thinness settings. So let's go back over to model, and we have to refresh the model. You have to do that. Don't forget to refresh. And there is our thickened lithophane of Lamar. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, so you can see where it now indents into where the outline for all of this will create the stamp mold for that.
Right.
So after that, we made some Fusion 360 files for the walls so that the putty will have a place to sit inside of as you're...
Yeah, you need to make a cavity, sort of like a box.
Exactly.
Think about making a mold, you always want to have like a box to put your material in. So we did that. Tell me about the workflow of meshes inside of Simplify.
Yeah, so there's not really a way to convert your solids onto the mesh, so we're just using another free program called Mesh Mixer, also from Autodesk. You just import those two, and all you have to do is just select one, shift select the walls, and then your Boolean options will appear for combining the meshes into one solid object.
Yeah.
And then we can just export that. Print that up.
Print that up. There's a certain way to print it.
Yeah, so the wall sides should have enough room to adhere to a bed. And you can just print that out the Z. So I recommend going down to 150 microns or 0.5 millimeter layer height.
Yeah, 0.15. Sounds good.
Or higher.
0.4 nozzle.
Or lower, whichever one. Add a couple of skirts or brims around the bottom just to make sure that it adheres. as best that it can.
We printed this on the Delta Go.
Yeah, I tried printing
cool.
this on the BCN Sigma, but for whatever reason, because the nozzle is a little bit more bigger, it did tend to warp and like sort of melt the object as it was printing. So the Delta Go had a smaller
size, but same nozzle diameter.
Exactly, yeah.
Hole diameter.
So that printed a lot more better on that. So if you have problems with portions of your objects just melting because of the heat zone around the size of the nozzle.
Maybe print with a raft or something to get that extra bed adhesion.
Yeah, I tried printing 2
or
of
an
these
shields. One of those might work.
Yeah, you can try an
then
shield, maybe
get the heat away.
I tried printing two of them, and that the exact same thing happened. On the Sigma.
That's
so
bizarro.
Yeah, this is why we have so many printers. Because some geometries, some materials print better on other machines, and it all has to do with just the way that the physical size of the nozzles, or the way that the cooling fan is, or whatever it is. Not all machines.
Yeah, I mean, just the only 2 machines you tested it on, taking it.
Yeah. Well, all the rest were all printing stuff. So
right, I was
really
take over the Ultimaker. Okay, well, that's pretty much how to 3D print it.
Yeah, so this is what you end up with. You just obviously want to clean that up, the little overhangs that will form. And here's what we get. So super easy. So we've actually did this tutorial before, like, I don't know, 2011, I think.
Yeah, this is one of our first like kind of 3D related tutorials that we did before, prior to Adafruit, prior to joining Adafruit.
Yeah, so actually you worked on this project before, and one of the key takeaways that I took from that was you were sort of guessing how much material to actually add to the mold. Yeah. And one of the things that I thought of was, oh, what if we just reference the weight with just some Play-Doh? So that's what we're doing here, gauging how much you'll actually need by first testing out your mold with some Play-Doh or equivalent dough that will actually give you a nice number to reference from.
That's why you want the scale, so you can measure it out. Well, first of all, kind of squish the mold together with the lid. Did we talk about the lid?
Yeah, so the lid will be included with the Fusion 360 file or on the Thingiverse objects that you can download. And it's just a simple little lid that just goes on the back of the mold there to just compress all of the dough into all of the voids to make sure that you have the cleanest mold with all the details in there.
Yeah, so you push it, you squish it, and then you take out any excess.
And then we can just weigh that, and that'll give you the reference number. For this mold, it did weigh 8 grams for the entire thing. And because the putty is a 1-to-1 mixing ratio, you just divide that by 2, and each side of it will be 4 grams.
Okay.
So you'll want to, add, subtract however much putty until you reach those numbers that you'll need. After that, you can just apply it to the back of the mold. Make sure to clean it out first. Make sure there's no Play-Doh left behind on the lid or inside of the voids in the stamp mold. And the curing, you are going to have like a 2 to 3 minute work time. So you do want to mix these as fast as you can, and then apply these to the mold. At a fast pace, don't go too fast where you're slopping.
Yeah, you don't want it to be too thin either. So make sure it's nice and thick.
And you want the back of it to be nice and even as well. So don't squish it all on one side and have it like sort of lopsided or pressure not applied evenly throughout the back, because we are going to need a flat back to adhere it to the handle.
Right. The handle piece.
Later. So it's about a 20-minute cure time for this. You could tell once it's cured by simply touching the axis that comes out of the sides from that. So leave that, the excess for that. And it should peel off. You just want to be careful when you're peeling these off. It can tear if you're not careful. I think I had to wait maybe like 25 minutes or 30 minutes just to make sure that the entire thing was nice and cured. So start off with one of the corners, and if it looks or feels like it's about to rip the entire mold off, leave it alone, let it chill for a little bit longer, and then try another corner until you can clearly see that it has adhered or mold, or that it has all cured and it's taking the entire mold with you as you're pulling it from whichever corner.
Just wait 20 minutes.
20, 25, yeah.
Wait longer. Go make a sandwich.
Exactly.
Watch some Made for YouTubes.
After that, the handle piece, simple to apply, just add it to one of the flat sides. And I tried E6000 and hot glue, and all of those would not adhere to the rubber or silicone based little putty after it's done. So what I had to do was use a gel based super glue, a couple of drops on the corners, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So, does adhere well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got Steve Jobs here and Harriet Tubman over there.
Yes, and actually let's do a little test of
Live
these.
demo?
Live demo
I
time.
don't believe this actually works, Pedro.
So you want to make sure that your ink pad is bigger than the stamp that you're actually using, just so you could get all the corners and the entire stamp in there. And one of the things you want to try out is the pressure that you're applying when making this, when stamping your image, and how much ink is actually on there. Because as you're about to see, looks pretty good. And then if you stamp it again after some ink has already been
so you get like
off, yeah, you get a little bit more detail off of the second stamping, just because for whatever reason the amount of ink that's on there gives it more resolution for some reason. But yeah, it's super easy to do. You can see that this fits perfectly over the thing that we're trying to showcase it as. Hopefully we'll get that reviewed by Thursday or Friday. And then
I don't think anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Good. They're not supposed to.
That's funny.
And then here's one of Steve Jobs there.
Steve Jobs.
And like you said, yeah, it works about 3 times before you'll need to redip or reapply the ink. And like we were saying, when we did this project originally in 2011, we were using it for custom stamps, and we were shipping out
branding stamps,
orders, yeah,
their logo and stuff, little 3D printing things. Do we still have those stamps?
Yes, we do.
They still work.
Yeah.
They don't have a shelf life.
So you can take a look at the little stamp mold here as well. All of these are sketch-driven designs. So inside the Fusion 360 file, you can
I didn't even make
the
one
dimensions.
for mine. I just used the
oh
negative.
yeah, we were just reusing these negatives, which worked, but you
don't get a nice hand.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to. This is how much you were holding, so definitely a lot more easier to have a nice little indented little part for your hand to stamp down on. And of course, not just shipping materials or branding materials. You can add this to like whatever cosplay or any other props that you might be making. Instead of actually like printing these out, you can just print a mold and have it go exactly where you want the texture to appear on.
And of course, this is food safe, so you could make some Harriet Tubman chocolate or something, or some Steve Jobs chocolate or something.
You could. Well, obviously not with the ink already on there, but
right.
These bucks should allow you to print or to make multiple molds out of that. Yeah, chocolate would be really good.
Cool. So hopefully this project will go live sometime.
Thursday or Friday. Yeah.
I wouldn't give a date. If it doesn't, then we'll have to cut out some things that.
Yeah, there's just 2 scenes that we need to cut out for it to not be in any legal problems.
Okay.
So for the meantime, the project that was released today is just a throwback to the Raspberry Pi Mini Palm Top that we made. I don't even remember when, but super easy. Nice little Palm Top. And if you want to see a sneak peek preview of a new product that we're launching later tonight on Ask an Engineer, if you want to go to the website, you can see we have a nice new little keyboard that's coming out. The reason why I have this big old thing over here, there actually isn't, it's hollow until it gets to the USB ports, was because of the trackpad, but we have a new nice smaller keyboard that that will be in the shop later today.
Isn't it already in the shop?
Go ahead and check it. I think that was just because we're logged in as admins, we can see all the new products that are coming in.
I don't think so.
Before they're even launched. Yeah, it should say like out of stock. Oh no, it's in stock.
Go get it.
Go get it. Because that's what I'm going to base the new Raspberry Pi Palm Top off of.
Coupon code Tubman.
Yes, check it out.
Look at this tiny little thing.
Is this being displayed on the?
You bet your.
Yeah, check it out.
Stamp.
Really cool, tiny little mini Bluetooth
USB
keyboard.
charging, built-in battery charger thing.
So that I will remake that now with
Right now.
this keyboard. Yeah. Well, I have to redraw all the sketches because this project was all designed in 123D design.
I love the descriptions that people write for this.
Yeah.
Like Halloween candy. This keyboard is fun sized. If Shakespeare had this wee chiclet keyboard back in the day, he definitely would have remarked. And though it be but little, it is fierce. It's like a little DIY teleprompter kit. Ah, that's a good idea too.
Ah.
Always read the product descriptions. They're like candy. A treat.
Very cool. And I think some people were asking, oh, why didn't you
More
release
figure
an
out
11 or 13-inch laptop? Oh, we have one down there. It's the Pi Top. You can grab the kit.
Yeah. Cool.
No 3D printing required for that one.
Cool beans, man. I think it is 3D printed.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do for this one, or for the next iteration of this, is have the Raspberry Pi 3 inside there. We're going to desolder the USB connections and the Ethernet connections and reroute those out with smaller cables just so we can get that as thin as we can. But that is a preview of probably in a month from now is when we'll be able to get that out.
Yeah.
And this stamp one will be released, I don't know, like I said,
We don't know.
Friday, at least, Friday with the edited things removed from there.
Yeah.
So nice little simple project. And that's it for this week's project launch. If you guys want to pick up anything from the shop, any of the materials, 3D printing stuff, use Tubman to get 10% off of your order.
Matrix keyboard to the Pi Grill. Ooh. That's a good idea.
Ooh, that is a good idea. Huh, maybe a little
Keyboards
slot.
are having a comeback.
Yeah.
I've had too many phones without them. They need to come back.
Yes, for the mouse,
Nothing.
yeah.
You're on your own. Resistive touchscreen, so.
Oh yeah,
maybe
it is
that's
a touch
possible.
screen, so you may not need the mouse.
Who wants a stylus? You have to get them out and
That sounds like a project too, since we do have the conductive film.
I was quoting somebody
Oh.
about the.
Who needs a stylus?
Who needs a stylus? Yuck. Gee, I don't know. All right, so artists and people who.
Let's take a look at what we're prototyping in the meantime. Oh, you got a really cool project you've been working on. We've been seeing some of the behind the scenes of it.
If you follow Pedro on Instagram, yeah.
I think you've been posting it as well.
Not really. I have like a photo, but you can't really see what it is. Anyway, hey guys, hello. I've been doing a lot of EagleCAD lately, and one of my kind of goals is to kind of upgrade the Pi Girl button PCB. So I've been meaning to update this guy with some new buttons, the 8mm buttons, these guys here. There you go. These guys are really nice. So I showed you guys that I was working on a library part for Eagle, so that I can use these in a new PCB design. So I figured I'd kind of play around with different things, and what I'm working on now is a feather wing that's using those. So let's take a look at it here in EagleCAD. And we'll just kind of look at the CAD here. So here it is in Eagle. It's not fully done yet, but I've been really liking Eagle. I plan to do a couple of tutorials as soon as I kind of get more experience with it. And really what I just wanted to show you guys today is how the workflow is for making a prototype on the Other Mill desktop CNC. And the Other Mill's pretty pricey, and I think one of the reasons why is because it has such great software. And Otherplan is the software that has native support for Eagle, for EagleCAD board files. So let's take a look here. So this is the Otherplan interface, and get like a nice visual of what the printer spoiler bed looks like, and even what the material looks like. So this is kind of a stock material. It's a one-sided FR1 copper layered board. So it's a thin piece of copper.
I can't see EagleCAD. Switch over.
Oh, whoops. There we go. All right, so there's the EagleCAD board. And what I have to retract now. All right, so here's EagleCAD. This is the design I'm working on. It's using those 8mm buttons. It's using a feather in the center, and then on top of that is a screen. This is a 1.4-inch TFT screen, and over here is analog joystick. So fairly simple PCB. It's just more components and more traces. But what I wanted to show you guys in this segment is just how the workflow is for going from Eagle to an actual physical prototype that's been milled specifically on the other mill desktop CNC machine. So what I was trying to say is that one of the reasons why the other mill is so pricey and so good is that the other plan software has native support for Eagle board files. So here I am in other plan. It's a free piece of software that comes with the other mill. And what you do is you set what type of material. So you kind of have different material profiles. You can set up your own. But for this one, I'm using a single-sided FR1 board. That's basically paper phenolic substrate, and on top of it is a single copper layer. I don't have to worry about any of the thicknesses because it's the profile is already set up for me. So that right off the bat, that's really good. The placement is at a certain distance away from the spoil bed, just because I'm using tape to adhere it. So anyway, let's take a look at let's open up a file here. So I have my my gamepad file, and what's really cool is that without any instantly, I get a real visualization of how the operation, the tool paths are going to be. So you can see the traces here, and what's really cool about this is that although it looks correct to me in Eagle, when I actually go into other plan, I can start seeing what problems there might be. Now, if we zoom in here, you can see that there's a little problem here. It looks like the tool I'm using isn't thin enough to cut between these guys. So we can do a couple things about that. We can either change out our tool for a smaller, thinner tool, like a 1/64 inch, and there you go, that looks a lot better. But I really like using the 132 because then I can use it to do everything. I can use it to cut out the outline, and I can use it to drill the holes. So one of the things I like to do is to literally update these things and then refresh it. So what we can do is, like, for example, this here, it looks like it needs to kind of go up a little bit more. So I can move this trace here. I don't know why, there we go. Obviously I would make it a little bit cleaner, but with that I can go into other plan and hit the refresh key right here. There's a little refresh button, and there we go. There's our updated trace. So it's really, really quick to go back and forth between the two and make sure that all of my traces have proper clearances, because I want to use that one tool. And it's a really good thing to kind of optimize your routing and your traces for one tool, because then you don't have to keep changing out the tools. So you kind of get it a little bit quicker that way. And I like having a thick trace width. It's like a 508 of an inch, 0.508 is what I'm using. Yeah, so and then on the right side, you can see that I have a little bit more work to do. There's some red lines over there, and I think some over here. So I still have to kind of update this. But it's it's fairly easy to kind of go back and forth between Eagle and other plan and make sure that all my tool paths are going to be milled correctly. And yeah, I think it's a good little workflow.
Setup process is a lot more simpler than we've seen before with.
Yeah, I don't have to make Gerber files, export the milling, the trace, the copper board. There's a lot of different layers that goes on. Other plan just generates it in an instant. It's just like here's exactly what it's going to look like, and here are some problems that might arise. So it's very
dynamic
cool.
Checking of all of your trace thicknesses and all that. So it's sort of like a dynamic link if you're familiar with like Adobe products, how you can have your After Effects.
When you update one, you can update
your file.
Same thing with Fusion. If you update a component, Fusion will say, "Hey, there's an update. Please update it."
Yeah.
So
there's like no re-rendering required. There's no exporting required. It just is linked completely to those files.
Yep. And another cool thing is that I don't know, you can do artwork and stuff. So using the right layers, so the top layer and the bottom layer, you can kind of draw out icons and stuff. These are just wires, or what they're called, the line tool. So you can just kind of make your own little lines and stuff. So I have a little heart and a little lightning bolt. That's kind of neat. So what does it actually look like? Did we mill it out? Yes, we did. We did mill it out. Here's what it looks like milled out. Traces came out really nice.
Vinny wants to know how you are doing the two-sided board. So there's a little tool component that lets you realign when you flip the board over.
Oh, yes. Yes. So the other mill has this bracket. It's called the alignment bracket. To make sure I'm switching it. And you basically say since I'm not connected to the machine, this button right here would say fixturing, you see that? And basically you say locate, and then when you install the thing here, your board kind of shifts up, and then the other mill will prompt you to change the tool, flip the tool over so that the blunt side is used to probe where the alignment bracket is. And it takes those numbers, offsets it, and adds it to your profile so that when you're milling and you flip the bottom and top, it'll give you the correct alignment. So you just flip it over. And again, the way I'm using, the way I am attaching the copper PCB to the bed is with double stick tape, just regular old Scotch double stick tape. So you want to make sure that your Z offset is the thickness of the tape.
Yeah.
And you can even see it here that it is offset just a little bit from the bed, because you don't want to cut the bed because it's made out of aluminum. So yeah, that's how to do it. I have a full video coming out probably next week or the week after that goes through the whole process of milling out PCB on the other mill, because this is a part of a bigger project that you guys will see. But this is where you got to start off with. First thing you learn how to use Eagle, and then what do you do with it? So I don't know. That was a kind of cool little thing. What was I going to say about this? This is interesting because it's a feather wing. So the point is that
you are eliminating having to do all the wiring.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the feather. These are the low profile. Are they low profile? Yeah, these are the low profile female headers, and then these are just regular headers. And then they will get soldered into these guys here, which I haven't done that yet because these aren't through hole plated, so I'd have to solder this side and this side or use wires or something. But hey, it's supposed to be a feather wing. I encourage you guys to, you know, think about making feather wings if you're into that.
One cool thing about
this is a joystick.
The licenses, I think, or the license for Eagle was updated, so you are able to make bigger boards on it.
Yeah, it used to be limited to like 100 millimeters. Now you have 800 by 800 millimeters. You can make a fairly large PCB. Oh, nice. So that's really, really cool. So this is going to be like a little game thing. You got the soft touch buttons on this side.
With the updated
on this side.
Through holes.
I have this attached to the PCB with these standoff washers. And these are M2 nuts, and they had to make sure, you know, none of the traces got overlapping with them. So that works pretty well. Mounting holes on the side here for the 3D printed case that'll eventually happen, and this kind of pokes out a little bit. But a lot of playing around with it and figuring out the workflow. But eventually this will be a nice, cool controller with like a navigatable screen or something. Kind of neat. But yeah, the whole point was like I already made this project, but I had a bunch of wires and it was kind of hard. So I was like, well, why not? Because originally I just made the button PCB and that was going to be it, and then I just wire everything to the feather. Why not make it a feather wing? So this is my first kind of dipping the toes into these waters of making a feather wing. And one of the cool things about Adafruit is that all of Lamar's boards are free. They're open source. You can download them. And with them, you can reuse any of the libraries. That's what I did. I took the feather part, the feather wing part, and just worked around that. Same thing with this. Lamar did the hard work of drawing the footprints for this. She did all the hard work, so I just grabbed it and rerouted it. Same thing with this board here. I made this into a library. It was a part. I made that into a library, and then I had to make my own you know, buttons, footprints in its own library. So I smashed all that together and I made this guy. So this is really cool. I'm looking forward to sending this out to Oshparps to have them actually manufacture, because one of the things about a double-sided board is that this isn't through plated or through hole, yeah, this isn't through plated. So on the inside of these holes, for example, there's no copper. You know,
so
it's just paper.
Yeah, so the solder won't adhere to that.
No, so you have to kind of solder it from this
sides, yeah, top
and this bottom, which is rather difficult. I would probably melt that plastic. Could probably do it, but I'd rather have a proper PCB with, you know, silk screen and solder mask. But yeah, be careful with these screens. I broke one of them already. Luckily, I have another one. Come on, focus. Focus. It's not gonna focus. Anyway, that's fun.
Kirby wants to know, are there L and R buttons?
No.
Is it too late to add those? Are there enough GPIOs on there?
I think so. I always forget, like, there's no start button, there's no off button. Yeah.
You have been prototyping it, though, in terms of gameplay. And
you would want it wired out anyway. If you look at the Super Nintendo controller, they have their own little PCBs for L and R because it's in a third dimension. It's not flat like this. So, yeah, potentially could add them, but this is V1. So, yeah, I should add L and R buttons and start and stop buttons.
And then someone else wants to know, can the other mill be used with other CNCs? I mean, other plan.
Probably not. If you know some software and you know Tiny G, you could probably hack it. But I mean, it uses, from what I can tell, you can open the bit breaker mode, which is like the hackery mode. See bit breaker? You get a debug console. Obviously, I'm not connected to it, but you can see all of the protocol, the G code that's happening in this little console. So give you the exact idea of what's being told and what. So you'd have to do some reverse engineering and hacking to get that to work with your other CNC, but that would be pretty neat. But, you know.
Groggy Nod
should probably
is asking, do you think
the other mill company?
What's it called?
I don't know.
The bare conductive ink would be suffice to make a pseudo copper plated through hole?
I've tried with the 3D printed bracket thing. Yeah, I've tried that. It kind of works. For powering like 5 volts, probably won't work. You want to use something like, what is that 3D printing filament that's like electric or something?
Oh, yeah.
Electronic. It had some weird name.
Yeah. Electrify 3D?
Electrify 3D. Yeah, check that stuff out. Electrify 3D. That's some PLA type filament that has a lot of conductivity, more conductivity than PLA conductive stuff.
All right, cool. Can't wait for this one to be finished.
This one's fun.
And don't forget to check our social channels. I'll always be posting behind the scenes.
Yeah, follow Pedro. He's got a lot of snaps going on.
And then also in the Discord, we'll periodically post that as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So check those out.
Yeah, and I got to work on these Zerba layers. They're going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah,
it's like, let me do a tutorial on something I just learned. That's always fun, right?
Yes, Yanni's saying some shoulder buttons, some the LT, LB, RT, and RB buttons are next. They want all the buttons.
We want every button. Double joysticks and a D-pad. Bigger screen. I want HDMI out.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this week's Shop Talk. We have Maker Faire, World Maker Faire, going on in New York. I think it starts Friday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Exactly, yeah.
We have a lot of Adafruit folks that are going to be there. So if you are going there and you want to meet some Adafruit folks, you should check out discord.gg/Adafruit. Oh, I quit it. I don't know why I quit it. I think something was happening. But anyway.
Oh, you're probably just trying to restart to make sure
that
the...
So you want to go... Phil made a video guide on how to join the events channel.
Will repost that on Instagram as well on YouTube. Or
anybody
Twitter.
who's going to any event, I guess just can check in here and be like, hey, I'm over here, or hey, I'm over there. So check that out.
And then we have specific World Maker Faire channels in there, so you can check out all the live chatter on there, maybe meet up.
Oh, look, Matt's there. He'll be showing off something, I think.
The Pi Glass, probably that looks super cool.
We know for a fact John Park is there, Scott is going to be there, Tony D is going to be there. I think both Tony and John have talks. So
yes,
we'll find out what their talks is.
Or not. Don't forget not to miss those. Check those out. Yeah. Tony's going to be doing a Pi talk, and then John Park and
Python talk.
Yeah, Python. Sorry, what did I say?
Python talk. Yeah, John will be talking about mystery boxes.
Mystery boxes, and then he has a panel with YouTube creators.
Yes.
So definitely check those out.
Check them out.
We will not be there.
No, we are not going to be there. Last week we had a hurricane. We got some misscheduling things, so we weren't really able to devote specific time to go.
Yeah, we have mandatory vacation time that we have to do.
We have to oblige. We'll be at Epcot.
Yeah, so we've gone for, oh my God, so many years. And
Yeah, can I play the video now?
Yeah, you can play the video.
All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to take you a trip back to 2012 when Pedro and I first went to Maker Faire, World Maker Faire in New York, and really our first time at New York. Now this is 2012, this is before we knew anything about Arduino, anything about Adafruit. We had just got our MakerBot Replicator 1, the good one, open source.
No, actually we had just ordered the 2.
We had just ordered the 2.
Yeah, we had
Did
2
they close
ones.
source yet?
That is when they started.
They started close sourcing it.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what that meant because we didn't know what open source meant from a hardware standpoint. So let's watch this video. Ready? Go. Once upon a timeline, we went to New York. We were very young.
This is only
Much younger.
It's not that long ago, but
We visited the World Trade.
they had
the
just
Freedom
opened
Tower.
up. Yeah, they just opened up the Freedom Tower.
And here it is.
Arrived at Maker Faire. This is pretty much what it's almost always like.
This was a 3D printing tent. There wasn't a village yet. There was so little 3D printing at that point. There were only like 2 main companies there. It was Ultimaker and MakerBot. Yeah.
But
Met some cool people. We got a lot of inspiration. This is the dark room.
I think those guys are there every week,
Yeah.
or every year with the faces there.
Yeah.
It's still pretty cool. Lots of nice LED stuff. So yeah, primarily what we were going here for, we run in an agency, so we were looking to incorporate more electronics and 3D printing into service offerings for clients, where they meet MakerBot and all those guys there. So that is what brought us there, and obviously started incorporating more stuff.
Because we got into 3D printing, we got into making and Maker Magazine and Maker Fairs. What's that about? I don't know. Let's go there. Maybe we can do something there.
Yeah, so definitely a really good for first timers showing up there to get those sort of inspiration and actually talk to the people that are making all these really cool stuff. So definitely recommended. Again, yeah, sorry about, I know that MakerBot has a bad reputation now, but back then it was, that's what
they were just starting to go the opposite way. Look, there I am doing the robot. And you get the cupcake people.
There's always the hydroponics. There's always the solar robot.
And crowds. Look at the crowds.
The crowds, the lines.
The lines.
For the food, for the bathroom.
Look, people are walking. A lot of great stuff to see in New York. A lot of great places to eat as well.
Yeah, I think some of the tips that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I have them listed, so after this video. All right, so we visited the MakerBot store. Now, at the time, this was the first 3D printing retail store in the world.
I think this was like day 2 or 3 of their opening.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, when we went there, we actually saw Norm and Will from Tested doing an interview with them. We were just in the background like, hey, who are these guys? Yep.
Tom chats. Yeah, he actually was talking about a mesh mixer there.
Yeah,
so that's,
I didn't know about mesh mixer, and he showed me the ways.
Nice little tips there.
So that was pretty good. Just a kind of like a quick edit that we had. We never uploaded on the Adafruit channel because we weren't with Adafruit yet.
So some of the tips that
we are okay, says Gorgi Mod.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. Let's go ahead and talk about some tips.
So
that we
if
have
you're going to do
Maker
some
Faire.
filming there, yeah, some of the tips there are definitely you're going to need a tripod.
You're kind of jumping. Hold on, man. All right, so here's our tips. Our top tips for first timers at Maker Faire. Bring an empty bag. You're going to take home a lot of swag.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you have some sort of backpack that has empty room. Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm just highlighting.
Okay, cool, thanks. Hey, it's like going to a con, right? So bring snacks because you're going to be waiting in line for food, for going to the bathroom, that sort of thing. So you want to make sure you're prepared for that.
Yeah, definitely bring snacks because,
and water.
Like anything, it's going to be overpriced food and water.
Yeah. Here's a slimy hot dog for $10.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this one's for people that are planning to get content, maybe you're a YouTuber and you have a channel and you want to make some Maker Faire content, don't forget to hit the record button. I've done that. You want to travel light, so only travel with your essentials. A selfie stick, your camera,
tripod,
and maybe a microphone.
The microphone is going to be the most important part just because it is sort of, there's going to be a nice crowd of people, so you want to make sure that you are mic'd for that.
If you're planning to do interviews, make sure you schedule them ahead of time. You can use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever company or person you want to meet. Make sure you hit them up ahead of time so that you can find them. Getting good audio is probably one of the most important, more important than I think getting good video. Is getting good audio. Now, most these days, mobile phones have some pretty good onboard mics. Like the iPhone has a really good microphone, so you can just record everything there. But if you have something like a GoPro, probably recommend an external microphone. Yeah, make sure it's connected directly to the camera, so you don't have to do like a clap sync thing.
Yeah, they do
clap
have
sync and then line them up.
compatible microphones for that.
That's true. You want to get yourself perhaps a wide-angle lens if you are using a phone, so you can get that wider look, because you're going to be in cramped spaces when you go inside of a booth. And if you want to catch some specific things, you might want to use a wide-angle lens. We have a Moment lens, which is a really nice lens for iPhones and Android. You might also want to get a selfie tripod, just so you can have something to hold if you want to, get some more stable shots. Probably the cheapest way to do that. Be cautious of recording. People are recording. People are taking photographs. We've gone many years where people trip over a tripod. You want to make sure you're kind of away from traffic. Maybe you if you're doing an interview, let's say you go outside of the booth as opposed to just right in front of there, so you stop traffic and nobody can get into the booth.
Yeah, actually, when we've gone before, we've had people that their whole job is just to keep people away from getting into your shop.
That's because, right, yeah.
Unfortunately, people are not cautious as, like when you're visiting.
It's New York.
Places.
People don't even speak. Some people don't even speak English or know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. They are not friendly to people. They'll go right in front of your shot. Yeah, just have people on either side, blocking people if you can.
Internet's going to be very slow.
It's going to
almost
be
non-existent. So if you're trying to communicate with somebody, your tweet's going to come back in 10 minutes. So just keep that in mind. That's what I'm saying. Schedule your interviews before the show. Yeah. Before you even get there. Yeah, if you can. If you are a media pass holder, there is something called the Media Lounge, and that is located normally in the library of the main hall, the main science hall. You want to use that, find it first, and then go explore. Find that Media Lounge, because when your batteries are dead, that's where you can recharge. That's where you can get better internet connection to upload anything that you want, any content. One recommendation is to photograph booths for references. Like, you'll see something cool and you'll go somewhere else and then you'll be like, where did I find that cool thing? And it's good to take a photo of it as a reference.
Same thing with business cards for any contacts or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing you want to do, to have
so much all
this paper and all that.
Yeah, take a photo
extra
of it.
Stuff to bring with you.
That's all the tips we have. Many tips out there. I think Caleb did one last year. Caleb Kraft, who works at Make Magazine, he did a good one too. So maybe we'll link it down below.
Comfortable shoes. There's going to be a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Things like I don't know, for good images, don't go, because there's going to be a lot of tent and bright areas. So don't go between different things just because of the exposure isn't going to match.
Matt's saying a good idea. Bring a 4G hotspot. We did that last year. Phil gave us his. We used it. Yeah. That way you can do a live stream. There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
5G is coming.
So good luck to everybody at Maker Faire. Have fun.
Take lots of photos.
Take lots of photos. Don't forget to take photos. I wish I had taken more photos. Every year I come back, I was like, man, I wish I took more photos. Yep.
All right, I think that's it for actually, and then this week's Community Makes. We jump into that.
Yeah, I got some cool ones. So let's look at some Community Makes. Pedro, what do you got?
This week's Time Lapse Tuesday is this creepy hand.
Creepy hand? This is designed by Thingiverse user
Kevin Tucker. So what I basically did was just print it in NinjaFlex and purposefully had it where it's nice and stringy, just so it looks like it's blood or something. I was gonna airbrush it in, but I just ran out of time. And the thing that it's holding is actually the
wait. So this is NinjaFlex?
Yeah. So this is NinjaFlex.
Squish his hands?
It all squishes. Whoa. This thing is the Flesh Charger project episode, and she showed how to do airbrushing on NinjaFlex, which works really good.
What printer did you print this on?
This is the Type A machines, and we're just using the original NinjaFlex, so it's the elongation one, so it's more rubbery. You can step on it and all that. And the only difference that I did with it was hollow it out, add a little DC motor and a servo body with a AAA battery pack, and then just 3D printed a little horn so you can have it sort of just, sort of jerk around. nice little thing, to be outside, have like the fog machine going, nice little creepy scene for trick-or-treaters. So super easy little project here. I just designed the little holder for the DC motor and a servo body, and then worked out how long the servo horn needed to be. And the way that it's all connected is just a LiPo or a AAA pack. And then the way that it's connected is just with these jumper cables that you can easily pop in and out. So
nice. It's got some good tolerances on
yeah, it's really tight in there.
Cool.
And then there is a slide switch that just breaks the connection on that. So super simple to do.
Yeah, no microcontroller required.
Yeah, no microcontroller.
No, not too much complexity. This is the sort of thing you want to do when you have, like, I don't know, a day left until Halloween. So
yeah,
it's good to get these simple projects, find something cool, add something to it.
Exactly, yeah. That's the whole goal for all the Halloween time-lapse Tuesdays I've been doing for the past, oh man, what is it? Almost a month now. Just like easy LEDs or simply modification of existing models. So for this one, yeah, definitely having the colors match what your print is going to be definitely helps hide it a little bit. You can obviously print like the rest of the guts or whatever to come out of here to sort of blend more with it, and like maybe add like latex, like blood or something, just to complete the illusion.
I would put like a piece of cloth or something to make it look like it's on a shirt and it got ripped off. That way you don't actually see the secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that was fun.
You can like add like strings on there, like
although you're saying you can add some strings.
Oh yeah, to make the fingers move. Yeah, obviously this is up to you guys.
More complex.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. I have to actually work on the other projects I'm working on. So yeah, you could actually. I mean, you will probably run out of room. There's not that much room in there. You'll have to scale up this hand, which.
Put it on the base.
With the realism of how big your hand actually is. There's always those constraints that you have to mess with.
Yep.
And I picked the AA battery just because if somebody does step on it, it's not going to be a LiPo and it's not going to explode.
That would,
So you also have to think of those things as well. The cavity in which you're working with. So yeah, you might be able to get the strings and all that in there. But yeah, that is definitely a cheaper way to get these instead of like going to a Halloween shop if you have the printer and all the parts already available to you. The AAA battery pack is like $1. The servo or the DC motor and the servo body is like $5. The material for this is like $1 or $2. So this is like a $7 prop. I don't think like Spirit or any Halloween shop is going to have a $7 motorized little hand.
It's flexible.
Yeah, and it's flexible too.
Cool.
But nice, simple little Halloween project you can whip up pretty quickly with minimal cost if you have all the components already.
That's right. Tubman. Coupon code Tubman.
Tubman if you want to pick up some of the NinjaFlex. This is the, I forget the name of this color. What is this one called? Mocha. We have mocha, we have peach, we have all different types
of flesh tones.
The flesh tones, yeah. I think this one is the almond color. And then you could check out the tutorials on how to do the airbrushing and all that for these, any settings to get the look of the little stringy look here.
Cool.
And of course the DC and the servo body, all those, you can get all those components for any future projects.
Cool. Let's keep on moving to the community makes. We got some projects here from the community. I'm gonna load those up now. About 5 minutes left. Here we go. This one is from Jake from Formlabs. Check this massive thing out over here. This is a prop from Destiny 2. This is called the Borealis and Sniper Rifle. Very awesome build. Check it out. It's an 11-minute video. Jake walks you through the whole process of 3D printing, finishing, and adding electronics. So if you're not subscribed to Jake, subscribe to Make It Yourself. Great job, Jake. Very cool stuff. Next up, we want to go to this Glowing Master Sword from Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is actually inspired from Pedro's Guardian Sword build. So the original model is from Garrett from Chaos Core Tech. And he 3D printed this on his CR10S5. This is 450 millimeters to 525 millimeters long. This is dope. It's dope.
So I
Look at the USB
made
port.
this.
Look at the switch right there.
I didn't know that it actually glowed.
Look,
so
that's where the USB port is.
super awesome. Yeah, this is a nice
that
little
looks
remix of this.
super dope. I mean, that is the sword. That is the master sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
And I like that it has the case included with that too.
Yeah,
Good job on the.
Yeah, so great job,
design
Garrett.
on
Great
that.
job, Tom. Great job, Pedro. This is open source. It's
What
like,
did I do?
you inspired this thing.
Oh,
It
cool.
says in there.
Yes, yes.
Inspired by Adafruit's Guardian Sword. And
Oh, sweet.
it was Garrett's, from Chaos Quartet, Garrett, his original model. He remixed it to allow electronics in there. Very cool. Check it out. It's on pin shape. This one is a Wii Pi case from Thingiverse user Sparrow 89. It's a nice little Raspberry Pi themed Wii case.
Yes, this was posted up in the Show and Tell channel of Discord.
This is totally a thing
Yeah.
to make a Pi case into a iconic gadget.
Mhm. Yeah, so Nintendo themselves keep releasing little miniaturized
Mhm.
versions of their older.
But it's never as
retro
good as the Raspberry
systems.
Pi, because the Raspberry Pi can do it all.
You can play it all, yeah.
Not just
they don't limit you.
Nintendo. No, very, very cool. Nice little Axis patch bay thing.
Very nice.
Here's
And then
another
keep
one.
it on the same theme of that.
Yeah.
You have a GameCube one as well.
Yeah, Sparrow also did this one.
Very cool.
This is a GameCube. Very awesome. There's more photos in the Discord.
They're there.
Yeah, they are. I believe so. Or at least one more photo. So if you want to see some more cool show and tell stuff, go to Discord, go to the show and tell thing. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is definitely the place that you want to post. Yeah, it's going scrolling down there.
Look.
Because this is where I will be grabbing a lot of
M0
the blog
Express.
posts for Thursday.
That's awesome.
For 3D Thursday, I'll be grabbing a lot of the blog posts from there.
Mhm.
So everybody continue
Chester,
to post there.
working on a
Tag
cool-
us so just in case we miss it, so we can schedule those up every Thursday
Rocket
for blog
Coder.
posts.
Matt's showing a lot of progress here, so check out Matt's progress here.
Yes, very cool stuff there with
Ryan's
the
got
Pi
some cool
glass.
stuff. Here's Sophie's, or actually, oh, I didn't see this yet. I gotta watch this later.
Oh, cool.
Tenute Scott did a video of meeting Sophie at the Seattle Maker Faire.
Mhm. Yes.
Cool. Well, that is, I believe that is, oh yeah, there's another one. Don't forget, Aiden came out with this really cool video. This one is how to 3D print liquid simulations. So he shows you layer by layer style how to use Blender to make liquid simulations
Mhm.
and 3D print them
Very cool.
to make awesome organic shapes. Isn't that cool? So check it out. Check out Aiden. Subscribe to Aiden. XYZ Aiden on YouTube. Make
Very
sure
cool.
to share this on the blog. Check it out. Very cool stuff. Yay, Aiden. You could probably meet Aiden at Maker Faire. I'm sure he'll be there. He did
Probably
a
be
talk
there,
last
yeah.
year. We filmed a talk. It was a very fun talk. So that is what we have this week. Coupon code Tubbin. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Is it time already? Okay. I guess we'll do Q&A next week.
I'm just hungry. I need to eat.
I'm stomach down as well. I think we went a little bit over our time. Thank you
No,
all
that's
for watching.
fine.
If you guys want to pick anything up at the store, don't pay full price. Remember, use code Tubman during checkout to get 10% off.
Yeah. Guess what's on tonight? Ask Engineer, Show and Tell. Same deal.
Yep, we will be on Show and Tell, showing off some of the projects. And then maybe Phil can give a little backstory on the
On his-
project.
yeah. Why couldn't we release this week's project, Phil? Well, let me tell you why. So, John Park live stream this week? I don't know. He's going to be at Maker Faire.
Maybe he'll do a live stream during this talk.
Yeah.
Check that
That'd
out.
be amazing.
He is in the office, so maybe he can
Yeah.
use the setup there. And then don't forget
That's the
Discovery Data. Come back.
So they had a
periodically.
live stream recently, MIT students.
That
so
was
check
really
that
cool.
one out.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be some more talks about that on the Ask an Engineer. Some more stuff going on there. Don't forget to click on that bell icon so you get notified when new videos are released.
Yeah, become part of our notification squad, as the kids say.
And I think that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you all for watching. As always, this has been 3 Hangouts, and I hope you guys learned something.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Be safe.